Hey guys, what's up? In this video we'll make a project of Go language REST API using Gin package. This project belongs to the job application or job portal REST API. In this application we have user management. Their user can register and log in with JWT based authentications. User can manage their profile also, even he can manage the profile picture also. Here the two kind of the user, normal user and admin user. Admin user will have some extra privileges, means he can control the complete job applications. Here user can create the job, even he can search the job also, even he can delete, update their own job. Database integration we will do through the SQLite only, so that we can easily copy paste and we easily movable also. That is file based database system. For security point of view we will use the password hashing and JWT authentication protected routes. Authorization check also will be have to ensure user can only modify their own data only. Here we will do the file handling also for support uploading the user profile picture. The API structure guys completely REST API design we will use it, and we have repository pattern also. Here we will use the middleware for authentication and authorizations, and we have the proper error handling also. So this is the complete project guys. We can make it into Go language through the Gin package, and front end we will make into the later on React.js. Now let's start on the coding part. First we will make the folder structure of our applications. So first we will create a folder cmd, and we will create one more folder internal. In cmd we will create a server or API, it's our choice. Inside in it we will actually put our main file. Inside in it internal we will create authentications handler routes. Guys, folder name should be small only. You can use underscore, but folder name should be small only. Repository services, and I think we require model also, right? All are good. So this will be our two folder structure will be there. Inside this project we will create a module go mode initializations. I'm making job portal or job applications in the main.go file, and it should be file guys. It's look like folder only. Let me delete and let me make main.go file. Inside in it we will write down package main functions main. First we will install the Gin package. So we'll say go get and package name. Once it is installed, it will update over here and it will generate a GoSum file also. GoSum file is guys just for documentation purpose. From where the package is download, what is the version of the package, and package depend upon which other package also. But actual Go package is installed it over here. So these are the packages are interdependent on the Go Gin package. So if I give the source code to you, I need to just simply run a command go get, and you will get all the package wrote inside in it. Next thing is we will create a server. As you know, the last time also we created gin.default, so we will get the default engine over here. And how to make a server, we need to simply say r.run, and we need to give simple port over here. Now our server will be ready over here. After that, first we will initialization the database. So in the repository we'll create a file db.go, and here we will initialization the database. So we'll write down package repository and functions initialization db, and database will be written the two thing guys. Here we need to install one more package is SQLite, and for SQLite you guys can install go get. This is the package name. After the installation is done, we can use star SQL dot database, and star SQL is a part of DB SQL guys, and it will return the two parameter error also. Inside in it we'll use the database, it will give us to database and error. We will open SQLite. Here we need to pass our database name, and guys all the database we need to follow almost the same step. So here we'll use, and we will give the one file name is job portal .database.db. So this is actually database created in this file only, and it easy to move, easy to downloadable also. So otherwise we need to restore the database, and we need to do so many things, but this one is very easy to make it also. Okay, and one more thing guys, don't forget add this package also what we installed it over here. So this package also we should be added over here. So to add this package we need to just simply first wrap this one, then below this one we should be add with underscore. This package is right now we are not using, but we wanted to keep it because internally it will do some functionality. So to keep up, we should be write down the blank placeholder over here, right? Otherwise, if you want to use this one, once we save the file, it will delete it. So we should be keep it up this one also. Another thing is we need to make a one more functions, create table. Here we'll create table, and inside a table is the user table, db.execute. So inside in it, we'll write down the use the backtick, and we'll write down the create table if not exist, and here we'll write down the users. So it's user table, and inside in it we'll write down the ID, and it should be integer with the primary key with the auto increment, means automatically ID will be incremented one by one. Next thing is we should write down the username, and that is also text, and we should be write down the unique also. This is the constraint, guys, not null and unique, means username always will be non-nullable. Another thing is definitely password we required. Next thing is we will take the email ID also. Email ID also not null, that is fine, and we should be put the unique also. So username and email ID will be unique only. Next thing is, yes, we can create a date also, date, time, default, and current timestamp. So this is will be take the current timestamp only. Okay. Next thing, we can take the updated, that's fine, we can keep it up or not, that's our choice. Okay, let's keep it up. Another thing is we can take is admin, and that is will take the boolean value. User type, as we discussed, user can be true type, normal user and admin user. Another thing will take the profile picture. Okay, this is the profile picture, and finally we'll return the error. So this create table, we'll call it over here, and if we get some error, we need to be just handle error. Same way, we'll just copy this one and we will handle it, right? And if we got a database, then we'll simply return it with the null, means we does not have any error. So this database will be returned back to there with the creation of the table also. So this database we will receive it over here, and we need to write down, database error can be also possible. We'll write down repository, we'll write down repository dot initialization database, and we will get the database over here, right? But if we can get the error, then we should handle the error also. We can write down panic, or either we can write down log pattern, means we can just log it also, whatever error will be get it. Okay, once our database is get it, then we can just simply say defer.db.close, means once we exit from the main function, our database connection should be closed also. Finally, we need to pass this database instance to the routing functions. Next thing is we will make a routing. So we will make a file, routes.go package routes functions initialization route, that's fine. Here we will receive engine as a parameter, r of engine, and we will receive the database also, because database we need to pass to further to below functions. We can make a structure also at application level also, or we can pass it through the normal as a parameter also. So in this application we will pass through normal as a parameter, but later on in application we will make a structure at application level also, and there we will configure multiple things also. So we will pass the database over here, and here we will make, suppose first we'll write down the auth routes. If we have more routing, guys, we can segregate the routing file also. Right now we will manage into single file only. So we'll write down r.post, this is post call, and right, this is the login, and login we can say we need to make a one functions, and functions we will make it over here. Inside in it we will write down the handler file, that is called auth_handler. Here we will create a package handler. Here we'll write down the functions login handler, and here we'll receive the database. That database instance is a pointer database instance, we will receive it. Yes, this is the gin handler, routing handler, and here we will write down the return functions. So in the last program also, if you will saw over here, I made it, these are the handler, right? And this handler is nothing, this is the function only, and these functions will receive a context, right? So rather than making a functions over here directly, I can make a wrapper function also. There I will receive the database instance, and inside it I will make a function, there I have the context. So this is the context functions. So here we have, right, so this is the context functions. Okay, and so I don't need extra bracket, so I'm deleting it. Now here we need to write down the logic related to routing, and this one I will use it over here, guys. Handler dot login handler, and there we'll pass the database instance. Right, and we'll save, and we now all the packages also saved it. Right, similar to this one, we will make one more handler that is called register route. Let's make it register, and here we'll write down the register handler, and this register handler we will create here only, same way functions, and here we'll write down db dot call dot database, and definitely this one also will come because we wanted to return a functions, and this function means this is the functions. Now inside in it we will call a service call, okay, and from that service call we will call the finally repository, because repository is directly connected to the database. All right, so in our application we have the multiple layer. One is the presentation layer that will directly belongs to the handler, or you can say routing. Another one is the business logic layer. There we'll write down the business logic, that is we call service layer, that we will write down over here. And finally we have the data access layer, that is called repository layer. Okay, and for to manage the data structure we have the models also, models, and for API endpoint we can say routing, and if we have some utility to share the functions between these operations, we can make the utility or separate package also we can make it. And we made these are the two routing functions, and these are the handler. So today we'll completed this one. So in the model, first we'll make the user model. Here we'll write down the package models, type user, structure is the type, and here we'll define right similar to this one. So we'll define id integer, this is correct, username string, this is also correct, and I think all other are also correct. We'll check id, this is correct, username is correct, password is correct, email id is admin, profile picture is also correct. And now we have two more things, created at and updated at, and that we took over here in the repository. Right, so we'll take these two also. So we'll write down created at, this is also correct, updated at, this is also correct. So this is our structure, right, and this is our structure. So this is our structure, or we can say model. So this we will use it over here, where user models dot user. Okay, and why we are taking this one? Because whatever the data we get it in a form of the login or registration, at the time we wanted to fill it this object. Okay, so first we'll complete the registrations. Over here we'll write down if this is correct, meaning is this one is should bind JSON. This data will bind it, whatever the request object will become. So in the request we will send some payload, right, and that payload we will get it over here. So if this is not correct, we'll write down http dot status byte request, and we'll show error message also. If this is correct, then we'll write down one method in the service. Okay, and service method meaning is this is service file, and here we need to make a one file, that is auth service.go. Here we'll add the one package service. Inside it we'll get the function. In function we will get the SQL object and the user object. Both the object we will get it, and we will return error if we have error. And here once the user is come for registration, we need to be first encrypt the password, and whatever the encrypted password we should save into database. So first we will use it hashed password. And how we will hash it? It's very simple, guys. We can use the any algorithm. So I like to use the bcrypt, and that is more secure algorithm, so we'll use that one only. And to this one I need actually one package, and that package, how to install a package? Very simple, go get and the package name. Okay, this is the complete part. Now it's downloading. Yeah, it's done. So we'll write down bcrypt c, yes, and we'll write down simple generate from password, and this is the password. So from the user we'll get a password, and we will decrypt. How much time we'll decrypt? 10 times. This is default, but we can do exactly more also. Meaning is whatever the plain password will be get it as a form of the text, we will actually first encryption one level, then second level, and more secure we will make till the 10 level, right? After that, if we will get some error, then we will handle the error. Simple, we will return the error from here only, and if everything is smooth, then we will convert this password to normal password as a string, and we need to be stored into database also. To store in the database, we will write down the functionality into repository. Okay, so we are doing segregation. So all the logic, service related service, repository related repository. So right now we need to make one more file over here, that is user underscore repository. Here we'll add the package repository. Okay, inside it will write down create capital name only, because we need to be access into another file. This is correct, and this is also fine. So here we'll add the SQL and the model the user will get it, and here simply we'll run it db dot execute. That line we can write down there also into service also, but we should be separate because database related should be into repository. Database is more close to the repository side. Service means business logic. Okay, and we need to write down similar to this one, right? Username, password, email ID. Okay, these three things also fine, and we are writing down username, password, email ID. That is also correct, right? And insert. Okay, so this command can give the result or error. This we will receive it over here. If we get some error, we will return the error from here on. So this create user will use it over here. Below of this one will say return repository dot create user, and inside it will pass the database and the user. Whatever it will return will send back to the handler, right? So in the handler we will receive it and we will write down services dot register user, and there we will pass these two things. And here if we get some error, we will write down the status internal server error or bad request, right? Both are the correct, and we can write down some meaningful message or whatever error is also, both are the fine, but here we'll write down message, and this message also guys we can put in constant also. Okay, and here we'll write down c.json, and inside it we'll write down the http dot status created, right? And beside of we should be write down the whatever the success message we have. So this part is done, so our registration part is done. So this complete call is we made it. So one more thing, in this application we will add a environment file also. So we'll add a new file, and here we'll write down like JWT secret key, like database path, server port, in future if we will make the upload file path. So these things we can make it. So these are the variables right now I'm making, but later on we can change it also. And read this environment file, we require one package also, and package is this one, go.environment. We'll install it, and after that this environment we will read it over here at the first place, because we wanted to use it over here also at the time initialization and here also. So we'll read it over here. Simple. If we got some error while reading the package, we will write down go dot environment dot load. It will automatically find out that environment file only, and if we got some error, we will show it error over here. And if everything is fine, then we can read it. For example, I wanted to read a port, and that port I wanted to replace it over here 8080. So I can read it operating system get environment server port, and that server port I already given it over here. That port we will read it and we'll use it over here. If it does not find out in this configuration file the port, then we'll use 8080 only, right? So this is a small change. Later on we will use this file like other places also. So we've done the user creation. Let's test it. So to test the application guys, I'm making one more new folder, API underscore test. I'm not using the Postman and some other tool. Here only I'm writing down through the REST HTTP client we will test it. Okay, and that is actually one extension guys, you can use it over here, REST, that you can use it REST, and this is the extension REST client. Okay, here we can make the command, and there is so many other configuration also, but we required for simple use only, and the use is very simple. So I'll show you. We will make a file like user underscore register, and we'll write down through extension HTTP, and inside it we'll write down our request. Simple. We need to write down host and the URL on which we wanted to hit it. So when we run this server, it will run on the 8080 port only. So we'll write down register is the our routing path. This is register. So we'll use this one over here, and after that we can give, if we have some header we can give it over here, and after one line blank we will write down our body part. So suppose this is our body part, username, email ID, and this is the password we wanted to send it. We can simply request it. So before that we need to run the server also. we'll run go server dot cmd /server /main.com and hit the server. Our server is running successful, but our routing part did come. Generally when we run it, our routing part also will show over here. So we didn't integrate the routing with the server, so that is also we need to do. So we'll go on the main file, and here we will do. So first thing is we will write down routes. Here we'll write down our initialization route. Here we'll pass our route engine and database. These are the two things. Our initialization route is done. Now again we will run our server go run cmd /server / now this time we can see our both route handler we can see, right? Now we'll go over there on user registration. We click on the send request and user creation is done. You can see we got a one file also. This is our database, okay? And when we click, we didn't see anything, but we have our data inside it, okay, that we cannot access through the Visual Studio editor, but we have our database, and from there we can access the user or other actually table also. So this is done. And one more thing, this path also we can grab from the environment file. And how to get it from the environment file, and that is also very simple. We'll use it over here, os.get environment, and here we will write down our path name. This is our database environment key, and that thing we will come over here dynamically, right? So we need to change it only in environment file, and automatically our complete applications configurations we can handle through the environment file only. So before the login, next part is we need to validate is user is registered or not, because we cannot see over here in database, right? So we will make a one more actually request in route handler to fetch the user by ID, and we will fetch our user what we actually just saved it. So in here in routing we will make a get user by ID handler. Inside in it we will write down the logic. So first we need to be going to handler, and there we need to define it. So this is authentication related. Similar to that, we can make one more file user_handler. There we will write down the user related information. So package handler, and below we will define that functions. And here in the handler we will receive the database SQL, right? So we'll write down this one also, and what it will return, it should be written the handler function. So it will return the handler function, and this is the gin part. So this is the gin part, and it will actually give us to the in a function parameter we'll get the context. So this is our context. So inside it we need to write down the logic. So first thing is from that URL we will get a one user ID also. Get a user ID, we will write down ID. It could be the error also, so we'll write down c.parameter.get ID. That is correct. And we can write down this one also, or we can write down in shortcut also over here ID also, right? First we need to convert this ID into the integer part, so we'll write down this one. This is correct, string conversion, and ID will get it over here, right? If we get some error due to the reading the parameter, then we will write down the error over here, right? Invalid user ID. After that we'll call service call, and from the service we'll call the repository also. So we'll make a service call, service.get user ID, get user by ID, and here we'll write down the logic, and in the service also we'll make a one more file, that is user_service.go. Inside it we'll write down very simple logic is this one only. Whatever the database we'll get it, and data we will actually grab into this model, we will send to the handler, right? And for this one also we need to write down one repository also. In the repository get user by ID. Here also we will make a one more file, and file we don't need to make because already we have, so we can use this one also, and here only we'll write down. So here we'll write down the logic is get user by ID. This is correct, and this is almost also correct. So let's read it, let's go through it, this one also. So this is correct, user ID, email ID, and this is fine, but we want all the data, right? So we will write down this one star, and we will scan all the information. And one more thing, while scanning the profile picture, because profile picture can be the null guys, because if we'll see over there the structure of database, everything is actually, you can say not null, not null, this is default, this is default, only the profile picture can be null. So how we will grab this one, because in our side it could not be null, or string to null is conversion is also not possible. So what we need to do in this case, we need to take one more variables over here where profile picture, and this variable type we will take it SQL dot null string. Meaning of this one, so in this over here we can take it SQL null to handle the null value of the database, because at the time of creations we does not give the profile picture, we given the only mandatory field, right? So this way we can handle it, and rest everything will get it through the user only. Means all these things whatever it is get from the database will fill into this user model, but only the profile picture will load into the profile picture variable. So like a way, right? And this one we need to change to created at and updated at. So this is done. Now if we get some error we will return it from there. Here we will write down if profile picture is valid, this SQL null string we will give the valid also, valid or invalid also. If it is valid, then in the user profile picture we'll write down the whatever the profile picture we get it in a string format. Otherwise we can write down nil also. So we'll write down user profile picture blank or nil. I'm just writing down nil over here. Okay, and this data will send it back. And cannot use nil as a string value in assignment. That is also correct. So we'll go there, and to make it this one I am just making as a pointer over here. Here also we need to write down pointer type. This is done, and we will get the request over here. So this request we will grab it from user repository to the user service, and this is our user service repository dot user service, and that package also we should add. This is done. Now in the handler we will get it exactly service dot get user ID, right? And now this user ID we need to use it. So we'll write down if error will get it, then what we need to write down. So if error we will get it, we will write down the logic, we'll show the internal server error. Otherwise we'll show c.json, c is the context, and here we will as a response we will send the user only. Now this is also done. We'll save all the files and all files. Now we'll test this request also. To test this request guys, we'll go there, we will make one more file, and this time we'll say fetch user or get user by ID. This is HTTP request. Okay, here we'll write down very simple get is the method, and we need to write down one URL. URL is simple. We will write down the user/1, and in handler we will verify user/ID. This is correct, because whatever the user ID we wanted to get it, we can get it from here also. And one more thing, we need to be again rerun it. So we can use the AR package also, so it automatically recompile once the change we will get it. So we'll run it again, allow, we'll go there, we'll send a request, and we got a data also, right? So that means our user was created successfully there. So this part is also done. So one more thing guys, we can integrate the AR package also, and that we did it earlier also in server.watch. You can go in the previous video of the Go language services, there we already did it also. The same step we need to do over here also. So first we need to install the Go AR package, and this package we need to install one time in our system guys, because this is globally we'll install it. Once it will installed, then it will work. So after this one we will run AR initialization command, and it will create a AR this configuration file. So in this configuration file we need to be change something. Why? Because our main file is inside init cmd and server. So to access the main file we need to be give the path over here. So here we will change it .root exactly, and we need to give it our path. So .cmd/server, then we'll give the dot. So inside in it we have the main file. If we have API, we'll give the API. Like we need to change it, and hope it should work. Let's test it. We will run only command AR, and it's working. Yes, it's working. So that is also done. So now we don't need to be rerun it again and again. After the changes, our server, it will automatically recompile, or means you can say hot reload. Okay, so this is also done. Next thing is we need to complete the login process, and here we have routing, and this is our login functions. So when user will login, and after the login successful, user will get the token back, right? GWT token. So here we'll use it. Definitely we can use this one. So we need to receive the data. Okay, which data? Because at the time of login it will actually post request, and we will pass the username and password. So that data will receive it over here. So we'll just copy this one and paste it this one. So in this object we'll receive the data. After that we need to make a one functions, and that function is we will make service dot login user. Inside it we will pass database, and we required username and password, so we'll use it exactly user dot username and password, these two things only. And this login user we will make it into service, and this is our service request. Here we will write down, so here we'll get it only username password, we'll change it username and password both are string, right? And if this is successful, we will get back the token in the form of the string, and if we get some error, we should be written the error also. Okay, after that we need to call the repository, and in the repository also we'll make the one method, that is get user by username, and there we'll pass the database and username we will pass it. So this method now we'll make it into repository. Here we will make it in this repository. This is our method, and it how the parameter is, this is same parameter, and username as coming as a string only. It will return two things, one is to model of the user or chances of error. With this username we will hit a query on a database, and we will fetch the user detail, and that user detail we will send back to the services. Okay, so here we'll write down user colon equal to, and here we will write down empty model. Inside it we will collect the user information, so that we'll write down error db dot, here we write down the query row. Inside that query row we'll write down the our statement. And query is simple, we write down this is correct, let's start from username, right? This username will pass, and we will return back all this informations, all are correct. After that, if we got some error, we'll write down if error came, then we'll return the error, otherwise we'll return the user. So this request is done, and this request we will receive it over here. Okay, and if you got an error, we will write down this one, and if we got a user, we will receive the user also over here, right? And if we got error, we will write down if error came, then it will return an error with a blank. Okay, and if everything is fine, then we will compare the password with the bcrypt password, right? And here we will first actually hash the password of the whatever the password we get from the user, because this is actually coming from the database. Okay, whatever the user we get it from the database, and this is we got as a request. So we'll compare these two things. If it is we have some error, then we will return it over here, and we can write down yes, this is also fine, we can use this one. Okay, this is done. After that, if everything is fine, we will return a token. So we need to make a token also. So to generate a token, I'm making a new folder, and right now I'm making a folder outside of the internal folder, and here we'll make a folder package is the folder. Inside it we'll write down another folder that is called utils. Inside it we'll write down one file that is called jwt.go. Here we'll write down the logic, and first we will import the utils, then we will write down the functions generate jwt token. Okay, and this token we need to be generated. We should be have some claim also, and it should be exactly with some algorithm, right? So through algorithm it should be encrypted also. So to claim, we will make a one claim structure, claims and structs, and make, and here inside it we will write down like username came, and username is also I will write down in the form of the this is correct. User ID, this is also correct. We'll write down is admin also. We can write down, it's up to us, but we should not write down like sensitive information like password or some other thing, but other thing we can write down. And generally we required to write down mostly user ID only, so that we can recognize from the token for which user actually we are trying to resolving, or for which user we wanted to do something. And after that, finally we need to use the JWT also, and for this one we need to be install a package of JWT. We'll stop this one and we'll install a package of JWT, and the package name is guys JWT Go. So go get JWT-go is the package. We will hit it, and this is guys the folder name also. Okay, and this is the package path. So we'll install it. Once we install, we can write down JWT dot like standard claim. This is correct, and we will get it over here. So after this one, whatever the standard claim also we can do it also, and that concept we call it structure embedding, or we can say inheritance, right? So in Go language we can achieve the inheritance in this way only. And here, while actually to generate a token, I can write down generate token. Here we'll get the username, string, user ID, and his boolean is also correct, right? And here we'll write down expiration time means exactly at what time the password will be expired. Okay, and expiration time, it's our choice how much we wanted to give. Generally 20 minutes, but we can increase or decrease it also, it's up to us. So suppose right now I'm writing down 10. So time dot now, the current time 10 hour, I'm adding it over here. So we can add the minutes or anything also, we can add it. After that we will make a claims, and in the claim we will use that claim structure, and here we'll write down the username, user ID is admin, and finally we have standard claim also. And these are the standard claim. Inside it we'll write down the expiration also, right? And where is the secret key, right? We need to write down secret key also. Okay, and the secret key will become also below. So what is this? This is the 56, the algorithm by which we are actually encrypted over here. Final thing is this token should be come like a way. This is signed token and this is our secret key, right? And we need to get the secret key. We should write down os dot get environment, and we should be write down our key name, and key name was secret key. We'll check over here. This was JWT secret, and we will write down here JWT secret. So this is also done. Here one more thing, this sign key can be possible to return an error also. So we should be write down string and error, both the things. This is done. Now this key we will get it over here in a user service. And one more thing guys, this should not be in user service, it should be in auth service. So we'll cut and paste this functions over here, and we'll write down over here utils is the package name dot generate token, and inside it will pass the username, user ID, and the admin also. And this one we will receive, and this service we will save it. We don't require anything else. This is also done, and this service will goes to the handler, and we'll write down service dot. So in the handler we will receive the token or either error. Okay, and if we got error, then we'll write down the same whatever we wrote down over here. That means the internal server error, or we can write down like incorrect password, invalid credentials kind of stuff we can write down, right? This should be services also. And if we got a token, we can simply write down c means context, JSON, and HTTP. This is correct, and we'll send the token. So I think that's it, and we should now test it also. So we'll write down one more API test service, and here we'll make a login user underscore login .http, right? And this is also post request. So we'll write down this one, and we'll make this URL, and here we don't require the email ID, right? So now we need to run the server also one time. So we'll run air only, we'll hit server is running, right? It's running. Now we can hit it because this username already we registered last time, so we are expecting we should get a successful message, or the token we should get it also. So we'll hit it over here, and we got a token, right? So this is done, and our JWT token also we received. First we will create a routing. Here we'll write down r dot to update a profile picture, we'll use the put, and here we'll write down users slash by the ID only, that is correct, and we will write down update user handler or update user profile handler. Here we'll define a method func profile update user handler, and this is the method. This is correct, till here is correct. What we are trying to do, we are getting the parameter from the URL. If the ID we get it, that's fine. If we get some error, we should be write down invalid user ID. This is also correct. So here is the new thing guy. After this one, for learning purpose, we will create a structure. So there we will write down that property that we wanted to sync into the database, or we wanted to update into database. So whatever the property we want to be write down into new structure. So we'll write down user update structs, and here we will define username and email ID. You see the structure of database, we have ID that is auto increment, we don't need to update it. Username we can update, password we will update through the forget password, email ID we can update it, created date and updated date, this is default, and this is also auto generated date. This admin we will make it to false. If we need to update admin, we will do the separately, and profile picture also will do the separately for learning purpose. So here we will update username and email ID only. After that, in the structure, whatever the data is coming as a request, we will sync into this structure. So we'll write down user update profile. C means context should bind the JSON, whatever the JSON is came as a request payload, we will bind into the structure. One more thing guys, whenever we call update profile or something we want to update or delete any table, the user should be authenticated. And to authenticate a user, we should be write down some middleware, and middleware we will register on a routing. So any request came on that particular routing, that will go through that middleware. So first we will define the middleware. So middleware we will write down in auth folder. Here we'll create a one file, middleware .go. Here we'll write down package. Here we will define a one functions, auth middleware. This functions will return a gin handler functions. Okay, and here we'll receive a context. So this is handler functions. Here we need to write down the logic of middleware. First we'll get authorization property from header. So from here we will validate and we will receive the token. This token we will check. If it is actually blank, we will write down missing authorization header. Here one more thing, context we can abort it also. So further context actually we won't be accessing. After that token, if we get it, then we will get the claims, and we will get the claims from the token only. We'll write down error, and here we need to define one functions, and functions we can define into JWT Go only, because here we have everything related to token. So here we'll write down functions validate token, and here we will get the token string, I can say, and if we get a claim we will return the claim. Claim is actually we have structure, we already made it, right? And here we have claim structure. Either we can get the error also. This is correct, and here we will define the logic. Now we'll write down blank claims, and here we'll define token, or either it can become error also, and that token we will get it from this token string only. So here we will get the token string, whatever the claim we will get it, that we will actually get it over here. Function.token, this is the callback function we have, and that is actually return type is either interface or either error. Interface means it can be written anything. In the body of this one we will write down return JWT key. Here we will write down JWT secret, and that secret we need to define over here. So secret guys, always we should be secure it always. We'll define it like a way, and definitely we require one more bracket. This is correct, and this is done. If we get some error, okay, then we will return it from here, or it could possible token is also invalid. So we'll write down token dot, if it is not valid, then also we should return it from here. Otherwise we will return claim or none. So this we will return it. And why we are getting error? Undefined means what? Okay, this is the different spelling. We'll use this one. Okay, so this is fine. So now everything is fine. I will come back in our middleware. So this is our middleware. So here we will write down utils dot validate token, and inside it we need to pass the token. And here if we got some error, then 404 invalid token, that is also correct. Yes, we should abort it also, request, and return it also we should do. If we get success, then we will write down c dot set. Here we can set or get or also. So remember guys, in one of the video we learned about context. In context there we can set or get any key also. So here we are setting one of the keys. It's very similar to if you go through the JavaScript, there is one concept, local storage and session storage. And Java and .NET also we have the concept is context. This is very similar to that one. So here we'll use the user ID. This is the key. Throughout the application we will access from this key only, and here we'll write down the user ID. Once we're done, after that we will define one more key, that is keys, and after that we should always write down c.next. Means if this middleware is actually working well, it is won't be abort or won't be returned, then actually it will go to the next request. So our middleware is ready, right? So now we need to define the middleware into routing. So we'll write down auth is our package name, dot auth middleware, right? Similarly we can write down over here also, but it can possible we have so many middleware function also, so these will be grow it also. So every time we need to be added actually second parameter as a middleware. Rather than doing this one, we'll define it one variable authenticated, and here we'll write down r dot group, means we are grouping it, and in this group suppose I'm writing down this slash, and after that write authenticated dot use auth middleware. So this is the middleware we configured it. Use means actually we are actually configured the middleware. In place of the r we will write down authenticated. Now We don't need to define this one. Without this also, this routing need to be go through this middleware only. Okay, so our middleware is configured. First, when we request on these routing, first it will goes in the middleware, then we will get back into these routing handler. After this, we will go inside in it, and we need to complete this one. From the middleware, on the context we wrote down user ID. That user ID we can get it over here, colon c dot get integer, and here we'll write down the user ID. Similarly, we can get the admin also, is admin, and here we'll write down is admin, right? After that, we can write down one conditions. If this is not admin, and for authorization purpose we should write down this is not admin, or this user ID is not belongs to what user ID we are getting as a request. So we'll write down unauthorized, and we should be return it. We will write down unauthorized to update this profile, and we'll return it from here. And why we are getting error? This is not integer. Yeah, this is not integer, this is boolean value. So we'll write down the boolean only, and hope I defined the boolean here also. So this is set, and this is actually the boolean we will get it. So we'll get the boolean only. So we will set the boolean only, we will get the boolean only. So this is done. After this, if everything is fine, we will call a service method, service dot, that method we need to define update user profile, and here we will pass database ID, also will pass username and email ID. That's it. This will return it updated user comma error. These two things it will return it. So we'll define these functions into service, and we have services over here. We'll define it over here, functions, this one, and here not like a way, here we need to define this one. Definitely it will return this one. Here we'll get ID, and here we'll write down username, email ID as a string. After that, we will write down user colon equal to, we already have one model, this is the model, this is correct, and here we will get the ID from there, and email ID is from this one. We will pass to the repository one of the functions. This is also correct. Update user profile, database, and the user. This function we need to define into repository, and this is our repository function. This is the last point. There we will update the database. So here we'll write down functions. This is the function name, and here we will receive the username and email ID, or either we can receive the user model also. So we can write down user underscore. So we'll write down user star model of the user, and here we'll write down the update SQL query. This is also correct, and this is also correct. So update user, set username we wanted to set, that is correct, email ID we wanted to set, and where is ID equal to whatever the ID we will get it. So we will write down this is correct, and if we get an error we will write down, and we will return the user and error also. This is also correct. So this request is done. Now this request will be goes to the service. This is also done. Now this request we will receive into handler. Here should be services, and now we receive the updated user. We'll write down, if we get some error, we'll write down error not nil. Then we need to write down whatever the error we will get, we need to write down. Or we can write down custom message also, like error updating user profile, right? If everything is well, then we will write down c.json status is okay, and updated user is this one only, right? Our request, and this our request is done. Now let's test it. So to test, I need to make a one more API, update user profile dot http, and inside it, similar to the login, you need to make this one. And on the routing I wrote down user colon ID only, that is correct. So I will write down users /1. This is post request, this is right, and here we'll write down the username, it was the John Doe, and here I will write down the John 1. Email ID we had it over here, email ID was this one, so I'll just copy, and here I will paste it, here I will pass the one only, right? Let's save it. I need to run the project also, so we should be going to this folder, and now we need to simply hit the AR only, right? Our project is also running, and we can see we have one more request for put also. Now we will hit it, send request 404 page not found. Why? Because it should be put only, so we should change to put. We'll save it one more time, send request, missing authorization header. Yes, so now authorization header is also required. So first we need to authenticate, then only we should request it. The good part is actually that is also tested, so we'll write down authorizations here E should be small, and here we'll write down the token. So to write down the token, so first we need to do login. So we'll send a request, this token will receive, we'll copy and we will paste it over here, save it, and we'll request invalid token. So this token is actually invalid. So here once we hit this one, we get key is invalid of type or invalid token, right? So if you will see the validate of the token, here this is the key, and yes, we should write down this one. So we'll change this one in the form of array of the byte, and we missed one bracket. This is correct. Now we'll save it, and now we'll hit one more time. And one more thing guys, if you'll see invalid character of curly bracket, meaning of this JSON is wrong, so we should correct this one also. And now our user profile is updated, right? So this is done. Now one more request we need to do, update the profile picture. So similar to update profile, we will do the update profile picture also same way. So here we will make one functions, update profile picture handler, and here in the request after the ID we will get the picture also, and this is the post request, not put. And here we'll define it our functions. The function will become over here functions, and this is almost everything will be remain same. So we need to define this one, and yes, this one, and here we want to use the structure because we have single value only. So but we will use this one. We will check the authorizations. And for authorization also guys, we can make one more middleware, or we can write down into same middleware also, it's up to us. Okay, but for understanding purpose I'm writing down into handler function only. So here we'll define this way, this is correct, we done it. Now we will write down file. Now we'll get the profile picture, we'll write down this is correct, file, and this is profile picture, we will get it, this is also correct, and from file. So in the context we have one more function, from file we will get the profile picture, and this profile picture we will get into over here. If you will get an error, we will write down over here. If everything is fine, from the source code only we will create a directory. So we'll write down if error equal to operating system dot make directory, and there we need to give the directory path. So directory path we already use into en.json, and this is our directory path, this is upload directory. So that we will use it over here, os dot get environment, and this is our key name. For that we will write down dot mode, means actually we need to create permission. After that if we will get some error, we will write down the error message, error creating upload directory. So when we will create this directory, if directories does not exist, otherwise we will use the same directory. After that we can print the file name also, so we can write down file name. If you wanted to check what is file is correct or not, we will write down fmt dot, we will convert into string format, and here we can write down ID and the file name. In the file name we can write down file path, we can use, this is also one more package guys, the base is the functions, and then we can pass the file name. We can write down the file path also, colon equal to file path, and we are joining with the file name. So this is our complete absolute file path. After that we will call save upload file. So this is also one more context method, save upload file. This is the file, this is the file path, we will upload the file over there, and we can write down internal server error with this message, and we will write down internal server error with this message, error saving file, and this is right message. After that if everything goes well, we will actually call the service method. So services file picture, here we will pass yes database ID and the file name, these all are correct, and if something is going to wrong, we will write down a message over here, error updating the profile picture in database. If everything is well, then we will write down profile picture updated successfully. So this method we need to define now. So now we need to define this method into service file. So in the service we will define functions, this is the method, and this all are correct, and we will define it over here. Now we will simply call repository dot, and we will define the same method name, and we will pass all this parameter also. Now in the repository we will insert into database. We will write down functions. This is the function name, and here we'll receive the parameter, and this is also correct. We will validate. This is ID, this is profile picture, right? We need to be profile picture only update on the basis of ID. This SQL query is also correct, and if we get some error, we'll return the error. This is also correct, otherwise we'll return the nil also. This is correct, so we'll receive it over here, and here we won't receive this one. We will receive the error only, so we'll receive the error if we get an error. So now everything is done. So we cannot test it profile picture over here. We should browse the particular picture and it should become as a form data, right? That we will test it from the UI once we will make the React project. This was the last time we created. Now we'll add one more over here, that is post a job. So we'll write down job routes. This is also, guys, authentication only. We will reuse it over here, authenticated. We'll write down the post method, and this is also right. Create job handler. Right, now first we need to define a handler, and we will create a new handler file, that is job_handler. So first we will add the package handler, then create a functions, create job handler, and this function will receive a parameter that is called SQLDB, and it will return a handler function because this is the routing handler. So this is the handler routing function, and here we will receive the context, Jin context. First we need to define a model over here. So first we will define a model, and already we have one model that is user. Similar to that, we will create one more model that is called job.go. Here we'll add the package. Below we'll write down the type job structs, and here we will define some basics field. Later on we will increase or decrease it also, but first basics is we will define it over here. And yes, I think this is also correct. ID, title, descriptions, locations, this is correct. Is remote? No, we don't want right now. Active, we can use for top deleted also, or later on also we can add it also. Should add the company name and salary string. Yes, we can use the created at, and we don't require to use updated at. That's fine. We will use user ID, integer, and user ID also. So our model is ready. We'll use model over here, where job models dot job. Now next thing is, in this job model we will receive whatever the payload we will get it. So this is our payload we will get, should bind JSON, and this is our bad request. If the payload we wasn't able to sync it, then we will get status bad request. Next thing is, we will actually get the user ID from our context that we already created it, c.getInt and user ID, and user ID we will get it over here. Now in the job user ID we will sync it over here. So this is our model. Inside in it we will sync this user ID. So whoever log in it means at the time of login we will get this user ID, and we will sync it over here at the time of creation of the job. So only login user can create their own job only. After that we need to write down service method, and this is also correct, and this is also correct. In the service we need to create a create job. Inside it we will pass the database and the job also. Let's create a new service that is called job service. Here we'll write down package service. Here we'll create this method, and it will receive the two things, SQL database and the model, whatever the model data we are getting it, right? And here we'll call a simple method of the repository. We create job of the repository, and repository, in the repository also we need to make one more file that is called job_repository. First we will add the package of repository, then we'll create one functions, create job, and we will validate insert job, and we will validate insert job title, descriptions. We should have the company also, location, salary, user ID, all these things, and we need to be add all the parameter also. So how many we have? So this is fine, we got it. And here also we need to add comma job dot company, locations, and other thing also. So let me check, all are the correct. And if we got some error, and here after the creation of the job, either we will return the error or either the created new job data only. So we'll write down this one, and here we'll write down if error is not null, then we will return from here only. After that, this result also we can use it. So in this result we can get last inserted ID, and that ID also we can get error or either ID. If we get an error, we will write down the same block of code. It will return from here only. Otherwise we will get the job ID, and we will return the same model whatever we get it. But now we have the job ID also. and this one we have the pointer type, so that meaning is we will receive the updated job over here. And here also we should write down this one only, repository, should write down this one, all are correct. Now we receive it, all are correct. Now we should be receive it over here. We will save the service file, and here we'll receive either job or error. So we will write down like a way, created job or error colon equal to this one. And if we get an error, then we will write down from here only internal server error, and we should be written from here also. And if it does not have any error, then we should write down c dot status is created, and this is created job. This is our job is created. Now we can test it also. So we can create one more API test, create job, or either I can write down job underscore create dot http, and this is post method only. So I'll just copy this one, copy and paste. Here we'll write down the job slash create, and this is my routing path, right? Jobs only we have, so we will send the post, and the path will be jobs only, so we don't need to write down create. Okay, this is fine. Over here I need to change it, so this much only we need to write down only. But if we forget one more thing, we should create a table also. So along with only I'm just creating one more table, create table if not exist of the job. This is right, this is also right, descriptions, company right, location is also right, salary correct, and we require user ID also, and date timestamp also fine. Updated date we don't want, and foreign key want, and foreign key should be user ID of user table, right? So user table, this is ID field is actually over here is the foreign key and primary key relationship. This is our table, and table is also created. Now we can test it. So let's run the project also. Yeah, here also we are getting one error, SQL incomplete, because we didn't close the table. We should close the table also. We can write down semicolon also. Let's rerun it. Yes, now our handler is ready, right? So let's run it without authentications. We should get the basic authorization header, that is correct. Now let's login it first. Login, send request, invalid credentials. Okay, so as you remember, last time we updated the profile. At the time we updated the username also, so we can write down this username, save it, send it, and we got a token. This token we can copy and we can go there. We'll write down authorizations equal to, and it should be small letter only, all the header. Now we can test it. Send request, invalid object. Okay, that is the reason of this comma. So this JSON is wrong, then we will get this kind of error, guys. So now I will hit it again. Okay, JSON cannot be unmarshal, number into go structure, job salary of type of string, right? So we should be give the string only, because it could be the big number also, or we can change in the job structure also. So what we take it over here, salary text only, so let it become as a string only. So we'll send it one more time, and our job is created, but company name we didn't send it, so we should send the company name also. So company, yeah, and suppose ABC is the company name, and we'll send it again. So we'll create one more job. Yes, so this time the job is done, and this is ID is the 2, and we have the user ID is the 1. So one user have the 2 job over here, right? So this is tested. Now we need to be fetch the job. Next one is we need to fetch the job. So we'll write down get, and the endpoint will be remain same, so jobs only, and we'll write down double quote, and here we'll write down handler dot get all job handler, and this function we will define into the handler. So here below we'll write down functions job handler, and inside it we'll get the reference of the database, and handler function we need to define it. In the handler function also we need to define the service and all these things also, and we will write down over here. So this function is very simple one. So we'll get the jobs or either error from the service. So in the service we need to create a one more method, that is get all the jobs. So here we can create functions get all jobs, and this function also receive the database. It will get back the array of model. You can say this is this one, and here we'll write down the error. So this is also correct, and we will write down this one. So in the repository we'll create the get all by job. So here we will write down functions get all by job. We will get it. We will receive the parameter of the database, and we will return the slice of the jobs. Here inside in it we will write down the rows, either error equal to database query, that is also correct. Here if we get some error, we'll write down error handling, and otherwise we will close the rows. So whatever the row we are getting it, we should close it also, so that database resource we can utilize in somewhere else also. After that we will write down where jobs model. This is also correct. We will correct all the jobs, and these rows we will get the one by one row. So we'll run the loop, one by one we will get it, next one by one automatically we'll get it, and one single model we will use it, and inside it we will scan and we will write down all the data. If we get an error, we will return the error from here only. If everything is fine, we will append the slice, right? And finally we should be return it also. So this is our collection of jobs. So this we are returning it, and this we will receive over here. So in a job handler we will write down get all jobs, and this we need to pass database only. This should be the services. If we get some error, we will write down over here error, and we should be return this one only, internal server error. This is also correct, and we will write down from here only. If everything is well, we will write down the status okay, and whatever the job we will get, we will send to the service response. We'll save all the files, and our here package will rerun the server. Now we need to create one more test API, job underscore get all jobs. Okay, job underscore all job dot http. So this is get function. We can write down jobs only, and we can say send request missing authentication. So we need to write down authentication also. For that I need to log in it. This is login, and we got this. Then we will send it request scan error. So let's see this error also. So over here one thing we need to update. It was actually string, so we should be write down time.time, because in our database we have the date and time only. After that, if we will test this one, suppose this is our token, and send request, we will get the job. So now the question is, can the user access the other user job also? Right, with this API this can possible. Okay, so now we need to create one more API, get job by user ID. So their user will be search their own job only. So whichever the job is user created, that job he can search, or even I can update it also. So guys, this application will look like, so end user means whoever didn't authentication, means the anonymous user can come and he can watch all the job. He can see it also on the portal, he can see all the job, but the job will be posted by the employer only. So this user is nothing the employer only. Whatever the user we are creating, that is actually the employer only. Okay, and means company will create a job, and company can update or delete their own job only. Right, so we need to create one more API for that. Plus we have one more user is called admin. So admin has some extra right. He can see the job, he can delete and update even the job and user also. So admin can control the jobs and user both the thing also. You can make one more routing, and in this routing we need to use the token to get the user ID, and on the basis of user ID we will get the job. So this one we can use as a anonymous user. So this is for anonymous, and this we will use for authentications. And here to identify we can write down user/user ID also, we can get it also, or either user ID we can get it through the token, that is also correct. To identify we can write down jobs by user. Okay, that is also we can get. We'll copy this one and use this method for this routing, and this is get all job by user. Okay, we'll go there and we'll write down this one. Here we'll write down this one. No, and we need to pass it user ID also. So we'll pass the user ID over here, right? In the service I need to write down one method. Okay, and this is the method get all job by user ID. So we'll write down this one here in handler. Okay, and this one will be goes to there. In the service I made a one method get all job by user ID, and here we'll receive the user ID, and rest everything is the same as it is the same. We copied over here. Right, and here we will save it. Why we get an error? Okay, we does not have any error. Okay, we can save it also. Let's test this one also. So we'll write down job all by user ID. So we don't need to write down this one. Then we'll go here. This routing name is this one, job by user. We'll go, and here we need to change. Here also we can rename it get all the job by user only. So we'll rename it Now we'll save it. Now let's hit it. We get it, right? And we know that other user job we does not have in our database, right? Till now we have only one user, and one user is created 2 job only. So these are the job only. So before update or delete the job, we need to write down one more method that is called get the job by job ID. So we'll write down, this is get method guys. So we'll write down this one, jobs, and we will receive a dynamic parameter or route parameter, and here we'll write down the get job by ID handler. This is correct, and this method we will define here only, where we are defining these two methods. So we'll go into this file and we'll define below it. Here we'll write down functions. This is job handler. This is also correct, and this is also correct. So what we are trying to do, we are getting the parameter. So whatever the parameter we will get in the URL, that parameter we are getting it. If the parameter is null, then we'll write down invalid job ID. If the parameter we have correct, then we will actually call a service API call. This is also correct. If we get error from the service API call, we will write down this one. This is also correct, and we will return it also. All are the correct only. Now we need to define a service method, and in the service we'll go and we need to define get job by ID. So this is simple function guys, normal get function as we did it earlier also, but now we are just having the ID only. That's it. So we'll just simply call the repository functions, and in the repository we need to write down just where clause, where the job ID equal to whatever the ID we are passing it. So we'll define into repository. In the repository we'll define this one, and we will get the ID and SQL database object. Inside init function we will actually select statement where ID equal to whatever the ID we are defining it, and whatever the data we will get it, that we are storing into a model, or I can just simply make it a blank model also. So I can just simply write down job colon equal to % model of the job model. This is also correct. Now below this one we need to be just scan and pass all the value to this job model. Okay, so this is, we are scanning it and we are passing it ID, title, description, all the data into this job model, right? If everything fine, simply return the job. If we have some error, we will write down the error from here only, right? We are passing everything, that is also fine, or we can actually select over here also, like ID, title, description, whatever the field we wanted to send, we can choose it also from here, or we can send it all the data, whatever the UI required, that we will use it also. So we'll save it, and this functionality we done it, right? So let's test this functionality. We'll make a one more HTTP test file, job underscore by ID dot HTTP. This is get method, and it should be go through with the authentication, means we require token also. So we'll use one of the methods, for example of this one, or this is also we can use, and we need to be pasted over here. This is get method, this is correct, but here we'll write down a jobs /1. We require token, so this token is not valid, so we'll write down the valid token. But before that, we need to run our applications. Let's write down here, and our application is live. Yes, our routing path or endpoint is also came. Now we can just simply hit, and we will get the token invalid, right? Because this token is expired. So we need to generate a new token with the, again we need to log in it. So we'll just simply send request. We got a token. We'll copy and we'll go there, not here. We'll write down here only. So we'll just remove this one, paste it. Now we'll hit send request, and we get it also, right? So this is working well. I can pass another job ID, send request, I got the another ID also. This is working well, right? Now we need to define two more endpoint, update or delete the job. So we'll go into routing file again. There we'll close this one. We will define one more route. For update, we need to simply change the REST function type, or you can say HTTP header, we will change it. Okay, and here we'll write down just update job handler, and this method also defined it over here only. Functions, and the function name copy, we'll write down update job handler. Here we'll receive a SQL database object, and we need to define a routing handler functions. In this function, first we will get a parameter, then we will check the parameter is valid or not valid. According to that, we need to be show some error message to the user. This is also correct, this is also correct, and this is also correct. After this one, we need to make a model to receive the payload, and we will sync the payload into that model. So it will be similar to this one, right? So we'll copy this code and we'll paste it and we'll close it. So till here we made it. Now we need to do one more thing. This job we can write down, we can assign the job ID also. So whatever the ID we get it, we will assign it. Below this one we should check authorizations. So whichever the user is trying to update or whatever the ID we are getting, that ID should be belongs to that user only, that whoever the make the token or whoever the authenticated. So we will get the two variables that we already wrote down in middleware. These are the variables, user ID and isAdmin. So these two variables we will use it over here, and we will write down the two variables, user ID, this is correct, and below this one we will write down isAdmin, this is also correct. And authorization we can check it over here also, or we can check into the service file also, both is the fine. So we will make the function into service. We will write down service update job, and here we'll pass it, this is correct, database, jobs, user ID and isAdmin, all are the correct. And this is services. Now we need to define a method into service. We'll go there, we'll define functions, this method, and here we'll receive, these are the parameters, all are correct also. And we will return job, whatever the job we are updating, that updated job we will send back to the UI, right? Or either the error also. So here we need to be defined now. Inside it we need to check the authorizations. So to check the authorization from this job ID, first we will get the job, particular job. Okay, so that we will get it actually from here using this function also. So we'll write down existing job or error with this ID, and ID we can write down job.id, right? After that, if you get some error, we will return it from here only, because we wasn't able to get the jobs from that ID, so we'll return it from here. If data we get it, then we can simply check this is not admin, an existing user ID, whatever we get it from the existing job, whatever the user ID we created with that particular job, or we get a user ID from the token. If this is mismatch, then we can write down one error message, unauthorized to update this job. If everything is well, then we can simply call a repository method. In repository we need to define one more method, functions update job, this is correct, this is also correct. Now if we got some error, we will return from error from here. So title we can update, descriptions, company, location, salary, this is all are correct. These are the data, all are the correct. If everything is well, we can just simply say job, or in place of error we can write down nil only, that is also correct. We don't need to get the result, we can just simply write down this one, because this is actually the pointer type. So whatever the job we will get, actually we will send it that job data only, right? If you want to update something, we can update it also, like updated by, updated date, something. If you want, we can update it over here also. But now whatever the data we get, we will return it back it also. So now everything is well. Now let's test it, this one also. So we'll save, I think one more unsaved file we have. Now we can make one more endpoint, job update, and in this job update we require this data to update it. Suppose for this job 2, okay, I'll show you it also. So job, not all job by ID. So here we can pass 2 and send request. This is the core language developer, this is this. We are trying to updating senior, here I'm writing down from developer to it will become senior developer. So salary I'm incrementing this one. Okay, so this data we need to send it, and definitely token also we need to match. So to match the token, I need to write down, or either we need to copy this token. We need to copy this token and paste it over here. Now let's send this request. Okay, we sent the request, but we didn't get any response back. Let's see the handler. This is the last request. Yeah, so we didn't completed this one. So let's complete this one also. So here we'll get the update job error, either of them. If we got an error, we will return it from here, or internal server error we can write down this is correct. If everything is fine, we can return it with the status okay, the current updated job. So now we'll go back, send request, we can see Go language senior developer we get it, and we should check it also if database updated or not. That we can check from here. We send it and we can see this data is updated correctly, right? So our update functionality is working well. Now the last thing is we need to develop the delete functionality. Delete is also very similar to this one. So first we will go into routing and we'll define a method, definitely with the ID only. So we'll define delete, job with the particular ID. So we'll write down delete. This method also we need to define here only. Functions, this is also correct. Routing handler, first we need to get the parameter. So this is the parameter, this is correct, this is also correct, this is also correct, right? And for authorization, yes, we should write down this one. Okay, so we should not check here, we will check it into service file. Why I'm checking in service file, why not here? Because in the service file we can directly call the repository, and to make the less call, so why we need to be first get the data from repository to service and service to handler. So rather than moving into handler, we can check into the service only. So that's why actually I'm writing down there, but we can check any places also. All the places are fine. So till here, this are same code only. No, I don't require exactly to sync it. This is wrong. That is correct. So I required only ID. This is also fine. So we'll just simply write down the service method. So we'll write down service dot delete job. Here we'll define it ID, user ID and admin. This is correct. Now in the service we will define this method. We'll go into service, functions, delete job, all the parameter we received. This is correct. Now here we'll just simply call the repository method. Simply check the authorization same way. First we will get the existing job on the basis of ID. So this is ID, we can use it. And if we get some error, we will return the error from here only. This is correct. After that we will check the authorizations, this is also correct, or we can check if everything is fine, we will call the repository method. In the repository we'll write down delete query. So this is correct, this is correct. On the basis of the ID we will delete it. If we get some error, we will return the error from here. If everything is fine, we can return the nil also. So this is all are the correct also. So this is all are the correct, or I can make the simpler also. I can just write down the error if we get some error, otherwise I can return it the null also, or I can write down this one also fine. Why I need to send it always? Yeah, so this is correct, this is done. And now we should go to handler and we need to complete this one. So in the handler we can get the error also. If we get an error, we can show internal server error, this one. And if everything is fine, we can simply show this job deleted successful message or some other message, right? Okay, we'll save all the file and we'll go to our API test folder. Here we'll write down job underscore delete, put http, and here we'll define a delete method, delete, and we require a URL that we can get it from here, and we require a token also. We'll copy, and this is fine. Okay, and that's it. Now we can just simply hit it, send request, and this job is deleted. Now we can just simply get by the job ID. So if I hit it, this one, we get a null, right? Because we does not have the job for the ID 2, right? If we will get from the 1, we should get the job. Send request, we are getting the job. So this is also done. So this is also done, right? So guys, this much you can make it, and we completed job related all the endpoint. We can make few more endpoint also, like search the job, apply the job, or you can say rating the job, review the job, something also we can make it. But we can upgrade actually services later on once exactly we will make the UI part. So that's it only in this video. So in next video we'll make the admin sections, and there we will make some endpoint to manage the jobs and the user. This was the last time we developed it. We have the login, registrations, and end user can watch it all the job. Means end user means he don't need to log in it. He can watch the job like a naukri.com. You go and you can watch the job. Even you can search it also. Employer means the company people will be registered on this portal, and they need to be upload their job according to their company requirement. They will upload the job, and even they can manage their job also. Admin can watch all the user, and even he can watch it all the job also. Job he can watch it from here only. So let's make the first endpoint of the admin get all the user. So we'll make it. Definitely admin also should be authenticated. We will write down, and this is get endpoint. So over here we will make the users only. We don't require admin. We'll write down the users only, and we will write down the get all the user handler, and this one we will write down into user only. So this is the user handler, and here we will make a functions, this one gin handler functions. Inside in it we will return it get, and we need to make a one service function get all the user. And who will access all the user? Only admin. So we need to write down one more over here. If authentication user is admin, this is we can get it through the context. We already actually stored in a middleware. So we'll get it over here is admin. So if this is admin, then only we will allow it. So we can write down over here. So this request means get all by user. Actually we should check it over here. If this is actually false, we will write down unauthorized to get all actually user over here. If this is correct, then we will go to the service method, and in the service method here we need to define it in user service. We'll write down functions. Here we'll get the database instance, and this is also correct, and we will get the data from here, get list of this one, right? Get all the users. So here we will write down list of models of the user, and we need to define it, get all the user into repository. We'll go into repository, we'll make a functions, and here we'll define it simple select start from that one. First we will make it one single model. Definitely we will get all the rows, like similar to what we did it into get all the jobs, same way actually we'll do. So this is also correct. We will actually get all the user from the database, and we are checking does we get any error while actually fetching this request. If it does not have any error, defer means in the last it will automatically will close it. We running one by one loop, all the data whatever it is exactly we can grab it and we can store it over here, or whatever the information we don't like it, we can actually remove it from here also, right? We can actually get it only that particular column also. Suppose I don't want to show to the is admin, okay, so I will just remove from here also, right? But this user list we will show only for admin. So let them display this one also, so that admin user can understand how many admin user already existed over there in database, okay? And this is fine, this is fine. Now we need to be return it also. After this we will write down return users. This is correct. This request we will goes to here, and this is also, and here this is the pointer type, so that's why it's giving errors. So pointer type of slice we have. After that this request will be goes to the handler, and this is our handler, and here we will get all the requests. Cannot use the C. Okay, we have already the C. We need to pass the database also, so we don't need to pass this one. We will pass directly whatever the database object we have. We should receive this one. Yes, we should not receive this one. We will receive this one as a database object, and this a database object we will pass to there, right? And I think we've done it. We'll save it, and routing also done. Yes, done. Let's call it. Over here we will make a one more test API user all .http, and now we need to make a normal get call. So we will call it get http on a localhost, and this is user, right? Now we require authentication also, and authentication we need to do through the admin user only. So we'll go there, we'll run the server here. Server is running and have all the endpoint also. So this is done. First we will generate a token, and this token we will give it to user all. Here authorizations token, send a request unauthorized, right? Why? Because this is normal user, we require admin user, and how we will make the admin user, right? So guys, here we have situation how to test this endpoint.
Situationally,
to test this endpoint we required an admin user, because here we already checked it. If it is admin false, then it will get the unauthorized, and that we already tested also. So now we required some user. Now we required some user should be admin, and it should be having database. To do this one, I can write down a insert query. While creating the database itself, we will create a admin user. So here we'll insert a query insert, or we should write down ignore, right? Because if already inserted it, every time we refresh it or every time we run it, one user will be inserted. So we should ignore it also into users. Users is our table, and we will write down or, and we don't require so much. We will just write down username. This is all are wrong, so we'll change it. Username, password, email ID is admin. These are only mandatory, so we'll use this one only. And in place of the value we'll write down, suppose admin is the user, password should be admin @123, email ID should be admin @gmail.com, and definitely this flag we wanted to make it true. So that's it. So we should be have single quote, always remember this one. And if everything is fine, then one user should be inserted in our database. And if I need to check this user is inserted or not inserted, I can check on a UI also. So many tools also there, we can check our flat file database or SQLite database kind of stuff, we can check it also. Or we can check directly also. I'll show you. So for example, this is website SQLite viewer. We wanted to see our database, so I can just go there and drag my database file over here, and it will analyze and we can see our database. And in the user we can see 2 record, and this is the record we just inserted one, right? So this kind of data we can get it actually. Okay, and guys, this is we can only select, we cannot do insert it because this is actually we are uploading our database, we are just checking what is our data over there, and we can export it also, right? You can see password is also encrypted, right? But this password we given just now, we can make encryption, and we know that while we will log in it will come through some algorithm and it will make some encryption password and check into database. So I'm using this password over here, or either through the same mechanism how we generate a password, we can generate it also, and I'm using it over here. So let me insert it actually one more user over here. So we'll write down admin1 and 1, and we'll save it. Our database is refreshed and we are inserting one more user, and let me drag the refreshed file over here. We'll go over there, we got a 3, and now we have this one. Okay, let's log in with this one. So we have username this one and email ID is this one, so we'll use this one, email ID, and we'll go on login. There we have login. Password is password 123, that is encryption we have, but we'll use this one and we will log in it. Invalid credentials. Okay, username. Okay, we'll use it admin1, send request. We got authentication token. Congratulations, our admin user is authenticated successfully. Now we need to access this one, so we'll use this one, token, and just send a request. Great,
Congratulations.
we got it all the user also, right? And now we can make a one more functionality, delete a user by ID. So admin user have some extra privilege. If somebody make a mistakenly create their company or user, the admin user can delete it also. He got a request, he can delete it also,
Delete.
right? So that is also we can make. Plus we need to make the forget password, right? And job related thing already we done it. I don't think so we need to make all the job. We can get it over here. If any job we wanted to get it, we can get it over here also through the job ID, right? We can get it, but now only authentication user will see this one. So we will see invalid job ID, this is correct. Here we'll go, we does not have anything, right? Anybody can actually watch it only, and we does not have any authorization for get the job. That is good actually, means anybody can watch it, but he should know about the ID only. So means anybody can see the watch over the portal. I mean, this is public, right? Anybody can see it, so there is no problem. But yeah, update and delete exactly done by the only particular user only. So that is we already have, so we don't need to be take care of the anything related to jobs. But yes, user we need to take care. List of the user we will get, and let's make it a forget password. Then after that we will create and delete the user also.
Password. What's my password?
So to make a forget password request, we will write down post method post forget password, and this method we will define in authentication handler only. Here we'll define functions. This is the method, this is the SQL, this is correct, and we will get a context also. This is also almost correct. Okay, and for this one we will make a new model here that is called forget password dot go. Inside it we will define a model, type forget password request structure, and here we'll write down simple username because we will get this one only, username, this is correct, and this one we will use in handler while actually getting the data. So we'll write down here, this is actually will come as this request, and this request we can bind it over here, right? If we get some error, we will show some error over here. After that we will just simply call this one and we will pass the request. This is database. So here in the service we need to define the forget password. Then the service, authentication service, will define functions forget password, and here, okay, that's fine, we will write down, we will change it. So we will get a username only, so we want to get this one. This is correct, this is correct. Now in the repository we'll call it get user by username. Okay, yeah, we have already, it's good. Yes, so in the repository through the username we will get the user. This is our user, and password we need to be generated random password. So guys, while a user will send a forget password request, he will get a 6-digit a random password. Okay, and next time once we authenticate with that random password, he can change the password into profile. So this is the functionality. So we won't be send any email or SMS right now. Later on might we will extend our functionality and we will make it, but right now once the user will send a request of the forget password, he will get a 6-digit password on a portal only on the top. This is your new password, and he can copy and use it exactly, or either he can note down, or we will write down a message. You can change the password once you log in with this temporary password. Inside in it you can go and change it also. Temporary password we can make it like a way also. So once user will log in with temporary password, we will forcefully redirect on a change password page, and user need to change the password only, otherwise he cannot be go further also. So that is also we can make it. So to generate a random password, we will create a file into util over here, and we will write down password.go. Inside in it we will write down generate a random 6-digit password. So we'll say function generate password, and here we need to return it only, that is string, and here we will write down constant digit from the random password is these are, for example, and where password of type is string.builder. This is the type. Password grow 6-digit. So grow is the function, there we can pass the capacity. Okay, so this is the capacity we are passing. We run a loop over here, I equal to 0. This is 6-digit, that is correct. And over here we'll see password right, this is correct also, and this should become colon, this is correct. Random, this is a package, and from this string it will generate one by one randomly, and that we were writing down on a byte over here. And finally we will return password dot string over here, right? So this is our 6-digit random password we will generate from here. This one we will use it over here, that is utils generate password over here. Here we can make it also like a way, we will pass the digit, and that digit we will over here we will write down character count, that is called integer, and this character count we can pass it over here and here also, right? So that means how many digits we want to generate, 6 or 8 we can generate it over here, but right now we are generating only 6. And from this one we will get this user, and we will get the updated password also, right? After that either we can generate a token, or we can from here itself exactly will send a response, this is your new password, you can log in it also, right? Or either we can just authenticated it, but we will give this random password to the user, so that user will log in itself only, and once he log in anytime he can change it also password. Next part is we will change this one. First we need to be update into repository also. So we'll call a repository update user password. This is correct, this is also correct, and we'll define this one. So we'll define it into repository. We can write down over here only, and we will make it functions update password repository. Here we'll get a user. If we get error we will return the error, otherwise insert the user, simple it. So this is fine, return from here, this is fine, this is fine. So yes, we require database also, so we will get the database similar to this one. This is fine. Here password on the basis of whatever the user ID we have, we will actually update it also. This request is correct, this request we will go over here, this is correct. We can write down from here itself string message, or we will just return it, or we will just return the error only. So we don't need to write down. If we have error, we will return the error, otherwise we will return a nil over here, right? We will understand in handler. So if it does not have any error, so means actually our request is completed over here, right? And this is request, that is correct. Either I can pass the username also, or either I can pass the request also, or I can write down username. This is also fine. If you get an error, we will write down the error handling over here. If you get an error, we will say internal server error. If everything is fine, we will simply say password resetted, email sent, not like away. And we need to be written the password also. Forget it. Yes, we should be write down password. We should be receive this password, so we'll receive it. User password, this is correct. It was also correct. String error. In case of this, no, blank or error. Right, so this is fine. This is done. Now we'll go over here. We get a password. We'll say return this password only, right? Simply this password will return it. We can say yeah, updated password or some message we will write down. So this is the way he will get a new password, right? So this is done. Let's test this request also. So we'll go into test API. So we'll go into test API and we will make a new one. User forget password. Here we'll write down post space http localhost. This is correct. And what was the endpoint we made it? Forget password. This forget password, we'll use it over here. Here we need to define it username. So username will be any name. Suppose admin password can be changed. No, we won't be changed, but we can write down a constraint. But right now we will write down a password of for example, we have login and we have admin only, and yes, we can write down this one also. And one more thing, we forget it, we should be hash it also, right? While storing the database, we should hash it also. So whatever the password we get it, now we need to hash it. So whatever the password we get, we are creating a hash, and this hash we are actually storing into database. So we'll use this one. Same thing, we'll use it over here. Before this one we'll use it, and in our case this is our right, or I can write down this one also. This is also fine. So first I will generate a password and assign to the user, and later on actually we'll change it. And here in this message, and this is hash password. So this is done. Now we go again in forget password, and suppose I want to change the password of admin only. Okay, admin wanted to password. Yes, admin password, right? Last time also we saw it. Admin password was very simple. This one was the password. I need to update this one. So let's hit it. Send a request. Okay, and this is the password we got it.
Encrypted? Maybe.
Right, but we should not get this password. We should get a only plain password. Okay, so let's change the logic. So this one, let me close this one. So we'll go there into user service. Here we'll change it in authentications. Whatever the password we generated over here, okay, we'll write down in variables. You can say generated password, generated password. This password we are using it over here. Whatever the password we get it over here, we'll use. So this one will return it, right? Now we'll test one more time. Send a request. So okay, send a request. We got this password, right? Now let's see in a database password is changed or not. We can just simply drag it our database file over here, and we can select this one, and we got a new password. That's great, right? So now we are able to change the password also, right? So first we will add a new endpoint, authentications. That endpoint is delete, and here we'll write down user ID. That is also correct. So delete user handler, we need to make it, and we will write down in a user only user handler. So here we will make it. So we'll put down, here we'll go function delete handler. This is also correct, and let me remove from auto save. We will save it manually. And here first thing we should check if the user is admin or not, and that we already check it over here like a web. So we can just simply copy and we can use it first. If the user is admin, then only we will check the get user ID from the request parameter. If the request parameter we have the ID, then we will process the next part. Next thing, user will put their own ID, or might be the admin will put their own ID for delete. So that kind of user, or you can say user is trying to delete themselves, we should be restricted also. So we can check over here if the current user ID. And how we can get the current user ID? We have also another parameter. That parameter we can get it over here, and we can check if current user ID equal to user ID, whatever we get it over here. So this is the ID. So if this is the same, then we can write down a message. You cannot delete yourself. So this restriction also we can write down. If everything is fine, we can delete the user. So delete user, and we will write down over here. Delete user is the one of the method in the service we need to write down. This is also correct. If we delete, we can write down, or we can write down like a way also. If you are deleting, if user is not found, then we can write down this error message, while the otherwise we can write down this message, error deleting of this particular user. If everything is successful, then we can show a message, user and associated data deleted successfully. So we can replace this one, and this is message is also good one. So this is our route handler. Now we need to write down the logic into service and repository. One more thing, over here we will pass this context also. So we'll go there in a service, and this is our service folder, and this is our file. Here we'll write down functions delete user, and here we need to define it. This is correct. We required a context also, so we'll pass context over here. So in the service we are getting the context, database object, and the user ID also, right? So we can say user ID. Here we'll write down tx, that is my transactions. I'm making the object of tx, and here we'll write down the database dot begin transactions. We need to start a transaction because we are deleting from multiple things from the database. So either it should be deleted from all the table, or it should not be deleted from any one of the table. Okay, so we'll start a transaction over here. Then we'll write down c.request. C means our context. Okay, from that we will get a context, and here we need to pass it SQL transaction options. In the transaction option we'll write down isolation, and in the isolations we will write down, we have the number of option, guys. We will use it label serializations. So this one, and this is done. This will be return transactions or error, and we know if we got some error, we will write down the error over here, right? And if due to some reason transaction we need to roll back, then we will write down tx dot or defer tx dot rollback. So we'll write down rollback if not committed, right? And here we are writing down started transactions. So this is done. So when it will defer it, so this function when it will be goes in the end, it will roll back from here only, right? And before that, if everything is successful, before that we will commit it also. So if you will commit it before it won't be rolled back. Next part is we need to do database operation, and database operation where we will do in repository. So we'll create a method and write down delete user from a user table or associated data also, or I can write down delete user or associated data repository dot delete user with transactions. Suppose we are giving this name, and we need to pass ID, user ID, and database, or either I can pass the transaction also, right? So these two things we will pass, and we will define this method into repository, and repository is over here. This is user repository. Here we'll write down functions. This is our function name, and here we'll getting the not database object but a transaction object. So we'll write down SQL transactions, okay, and not a model but a user ID only. So we'll write down user ID, and here we'll return two things, string or error, and user ID should be integer over here, right? So first, what should we delete it? I think first we should delete the jobs. Okay, so we will delete the jobs. Simple. So first delete associated job first. Okay, simply we'll run a query through the transactions only. So earlier we are using database, now we are actually using transactions. Okay, that is also part of the SQL only. So we'll run it, and if you got some error, definitely we'll return it from here, and this is error, right? So this is error handle. After that, before deleting, we should get the user profile also. Okay, and user profile we will get it, and user profile could possible null also, guys. So as we remember, we already done it also one of the place also, SQL dot null string. So same way we need to do over here also, null string. So we will get select star from user ID, whatever the user ID we have here, and we will get a profile picture that we will get it over here in this variable as a SQL null string. And if you got an error, any error, to execute this statement, will handle it over here. If everything goes well, then we will delete the user. Okay, and delete also will do through the transaction only. So we'll just simply delete, and we will check the result also. Result how we will check? Through the row affected. Now we will handle the error also. So this is error handling. If we got some error, we will handle it, and we will check the row affected also, right? And through this result we will get the row affected, and we will get a row affected. If the successful deleted, we will get the 1, or if it does not able to delete due to some XYZ reason, we will get a 0. So this is also one kind of exception, and this exception where we are handling user is not found, right? So such a kind of exception we can write down also. If everything goes well, then we will return profile picture, and we should convert it also string because that could be null. So this is good also. So where we will delete the profile picture, we should delete the profile picture into service. Why? Because this is business logic. This is only database operations. So we should not delete it over here. Only database related thing we should do into repository. Rest everything we do into user service only. So here we will delete the profile picture from the folder. So here we will picture or error. If we got some error, we can write down over here. If error reason is error no row, then we can write down this way. Otherwise we will write down some generic message. After that, definitely we need to commit the transaction also. If everything goes well, it does not get any error, we need to commit the transaction also. And how we will commit it? Simple way, transaction.commit, we will commit it. While committing also, if we get some error, we will write down this way. In the last, we need to delete the profile picture also. And how we will delete it? Simple, we need to make a logic. Yes, similar to that one also work. So profile picture, if not null, definitely we have some values. Then we will delete the profile picture, and while deleting also, if you get some error, we need to write down this one. Otherwise we will return in null. All are correct, but we need to write down logic, and logic I will write down over here in a util file, because that is totally separate logic and we can use it into somewhere else also. So we'll write down, we will make a new file validation I'm writing down, or file operations I can give the name. And here we will write down package util, and here we'll define a functions delete file if exist, and definitely we need to give the path, and we need to write down some logic. So logic is simple guys, as we already learned it also in file handling. While we learn the Go language, there we learn the file handling. So we need to write down simple os.stats will be give the if file is exist or not, if folder is exist or not, that kind of things we will get it through the os.stat. So we will pass this path, and os.stat will be give us two informations. So if we get some error, we will return it over here, or we can handle it, because if the file does not exist, return without error, we can say return none. If we are trying to delete a file, then we can simply write down os.remove file path, whatever the file path we have, we can pass it. And while deleting, if we get some error, we can write down over here, and otherwise we will return a null only. Okay, so this is our delete file if exist. So this function we can call it over here. We will write down utils, not this one, but where is the profile path, right? But we require a profile path also. To get a profile path, we'll use a file path. File path, join, upload, and profile picture also. So this file path we will give to this functions. Okay. And if you got some error here, we will handle the error. If everything is fine, we will return it from here only. Now we need to correct the routing part only. Now we'll copy this one, delete user by user ID, and we will just paste over here. This was the last thing. And one more thing guys, here we should not give the upload path. We should give the upload path from environment only. Okay, because environment also we already have it. Right. Final thing is we need to test this functionality. To test this functionality, I need to run my applications here. Let's see, yeah, this we got a new routing path. Now we need to make a API test, one more API test, that is called, I can say user_delete, or any name we can give. I'm just giving this one, and here we require some ID also. So before doing this one, let's see how many user we have. First we log in with the admin, send a request. Yeah, it's got. So we got a token. We'll copy this token and use this token into user, all the user. And to get all the user, we'll use it, and we'll execute. How many user we have? We have 3 user. Okay, and right now we are logging with this one, admin 1. We have admin also, so we can delete the admin. Okay, or either we can create a new user also. So let's create a new user. We'll go there and we will write down one new name, that is called ABC. or ABC. Let's execute. User is creation done. Now we come back again on user all and let's check. As we get ABC user, yes, and this ID is 30. So we need to delete this user. So we'll go in delete. We'll write down delete http localhost 88 is the port /user ID. Here we need to pass the token also, that is authorizations, and token we already have here. You can use this token or you can use this complete path also. We can use this complete parameter. Let's try to send a request. 404 does not find out. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, we need to pass it users /30. Right, now let's send a request. User and associated data deleted successfully. Great. Now let's see it is user exists or not. We'll go send a request. Yes, that user is deleted. Now we have only 3 users, right? So this is the way, guys, we can use the transactions. Okay, and guys, we should not use the transaction everywhere. We should use the transaction where we have multiple table record or their associated record we wanted to delete, or you can say we wanted to update at a time only. Okay, because if the one record is update and another one is not update, so then data will become inconsistent. In that case, we should use transactions. Authenticate, because we want exactly user should be authenticate. Put, and here we'll write down users, correct, and suppose I want to write down just change password or without hyphen also fine, and here I wanted to write down change password. Apart from that, I wanted to write down one new middleware also, but that we will introduce later on. Okay, middleware, guys, we can write down n number of middleware over here. If you will see, the signature of this one put is means handler, and middleware is nothing, just simple route handler only, but there we have one special function that is called next. Okay, that is also we'll discuss actually once I will make a middleware. Okay, then we will simply define this method into the user handler, because this is the user profile related only. So we'll go there, functions, and make it over here, and here I want database instance object. After that I need to write down context, and here we won't get any parameter. We will just simply write down the context only. Last time we created for forget password, similar to that we can create a new model, change password, go. Here we can write down package of models, and here we will receive the 2 property only, current password and the new password, and these are these 2 things, and both are the required. This is for the JSON communication from front end to back end. You can use any format also. Now we will use that model, and whatever the data we will get as a part of the payload, we will fill into that model. So we'll write down var request models dot change password request, and yes, this is correct. And if you get some error while filling the data, I will actually return from here only. These all are the correct. This is also fine. We can get the user ID. That user ID only we will change the password. This is also fine. We will pass the database object and the current password and the change password. If we got some error while actually getting the error from the service, then we will show the error. Otherwise, simply we will return a successful message. Password change successfully is done. Right, and all password we have current password. Okay, and we need to now define this method into service file, and our service file is user service. Here we'll define it. Functions, this method, and here we won't get it transactions, we will get it this one. This is correct, and we need to directly call the repository. Right, now we'll go in a repository. This is our repository file. Functions we will make, and here also we receive this one only. Should we update the password directly? No. What we should check, we should first actually compare the current password. Is it actually the same password or the different password? Right, and once the current password is the match with the proper encryption also we require. If the current password is matched, then only we should update the new password. So let's write down this logic into here only, to use the repository only. We want to use this one this way. Now first we will validate the current password. So first we will get the hash password. Hash password, from where we will get it? From the database. Okay, so this command is correct, we can use it. If we get some error, we will actually return it from here also, or we can write down proper message. If whatever the user ID we have and we didn't find out, we can write down this one, user ID not found in a database. Otherwise we will write down we got some error while fetching the password. So these are the 2 messages. After that, if this is done, then we need to be bcrypt that current hash password and match the same, both the hashed to the database hashed or the whatever we got a current password, we will generate a hash and we will compare it. So this is the comparison hash password. We can make the separate function also, because this thing we use at number of the place, we can make the separate function also, or either we can write down over here also. After that, if this is working fine, then whatever the new password we got it, we should be corrupted also, and we will get it exactly hash new password. Once we get a new hash password, we will update into database. In simple guys, update query, whatever the hash password we have, that is goes to there, whatever the user ID, that will be goes to there. If we get some error, we will actually show error from here only. If it does not have error, then we can check also in database row affected. If the row affected actually we got a 0, then we can write down immediately no user found or something, right? Or otherwise we can return the null. Null means everything is working well, so we can write down return null, right? So this is our repository functionality. Last thing is we should be validate the password strength also, and that we will do on a middleware. So here I'm making a middleware, and the file is password validations middle. So this is the second middleware. We can make it n number of middleware also for different routing or group of the routing also. We can organize it also. So we'll write down package auth functions. This is middleware name, and here we will get a request response, that is fine, or otherwise we can write down gin dot handle function. This is the handler function we have, and here inside it we need to get the context means all the request also we can get it, right? And this is the next function I was talking about. So this next function will call in the last only. First thing is we should read the body part, whatever the body we requested exactly, we should read it. So we can read it through the input output also, and all the request body we will get in the form of byte. If we got some error over here, we will write down the, from here only we can abort it also, and we can write down also. If everything is working well, then we can just simply get the request body from here, updated request body, then create a new reader with the bytes exactly. So this is we get updated request body, and here we will parse it. So whatever the model we made it, inside in it we will actually fill it again. So this is our model. So change password, we will actually fill it, should bind the JSON, whatever the request we get it, we will bind it over here. So in this request we have the data, all the data we have. Okay, so here once we get this one guys, one more time we need to use this one. Why we need 2 times? Because we wanted to restore the request body for next middleware, okay, or next handler. So once we read it, might be that is exhausted, so we required for subsequent request again to read it, otherwise might be chances of the fail. So we'll read it again, and now the next thing is we need to write down the validate password strength, and that we will write down in a util file over here. Here we will make it. So here we will make a functions, this one, and here we'll get a password in the form of the string, will return as a boolean or list of the error also. So I can write down errors in the form of the string, right? We'll make a one more model guys, and in the model we will just write down the password validations. Okay, and there we can define it. If we have different password validations, so we can define it. What is the minimum length, is it required has upper key, lower key, all these things we can define it also. I can write down here also. Here we can define type password validation struct, and here we'll define it, for example, mini length. I don't want to JSON because I don't want to use it somewhere else. I wanted to use it internally only, so I can just make it, these are the properties for this structure, and these property I will use it over here. So here I'm making a new structure. This is validations, and these are the rules I'm just actually applying for the validations. We'll make a new string of array. This is validation array. So we will write down all the rule regulations, and one by one we will check, and we will fill this validation errors. So like this one, this is first, if the length of the password, so similar to this one, here we are checking the minimum length. We will write down the few more validations. Another one is we have check for the uppercase. Guys, this is simple. We have the validation has uppercase. This is this one. Here we are using the string package. This is string package. Contain any. It is not contain any uppercase of this one. We are validating against the password. Then we will show this is the error message. Similar to that, we will write down few more validations. These are the validations. This is what? Lowercase. This is check for the number. We should have at least the few number in a password, and check for this is a special case. We are using the Unicode is the another package. So we should have the special character also. Okay, in the last we will return length of validation error. Length of validation error. If equal to 0, that means we does not have any error. Or we can send the validation error also. Right? Both the thing we can send. This is our logic of the validation. Where we wrote down? We wrote down into password.go, and we need to access these things into here. This is actually what we have our middleware, right? So we'll use it over here. So we'll write down is valid or errors. All the errors, list of the error we will get from utils dot the validate password strength, and here we'll pass the password. Okay, if it is not valid, then we'll write down the from here itself we will returning the error over here, right? Same as we did at the here, the same way we will actually abort it also from here only. Otherwise user will go on the next means the actually route handler, and that is exactly we have over here, right? This is the next route handler. Sorry, which one? This is only, this is the next route handler. Okay, so we need to write down our middleware auth dot password middleware. This is the middleware we need to write down. So we will validate. If everything is fine, then we'll go to the next one. Okay, so now I think everything we set up out. Now we should test it also. Let's run it here. We'll create a new test API. Yeah, forget password, user underscore forget underscore password to test API. Here we have put method http colon localhost. We can write down users slash what it was, change password or forget password. We had change password. Just copy and paste it over here. This is done. Now we need to write down authorization also. Okay, now we need to write down authentication. For that we need to log in it. So let's log in with the admin only. So let's log in with the admin. So we log in it, and this we will copy and we will just paste it here and write down authorizations, paste the token. After that we should pass the two things. What was that exactly? We made it the one model. Model is exactly we have here, and we should write down change password. This is the one. Sorry, over here the current password is whatever the password we have, we should give it. Okay, for example this one, and another model is we have the new password. This is this one. The password is whatever the password we want to give it. So the current password we are using to login. Where is the login? This is the login, and this is our password 123. Now we will use it over here. Now we will write down this 123 simple, and this is done. Now this is also done, but still we are getting error. Yeah, we should be close this one. All are the string. Now let's send the request. Okay, we got a validations, right? So that means our middleware is working. Okay, in between exactly checking the validation. Suppose I'll write down a special character or anything, suppose a letter, and save it. Now we'll get it's working, right? So we can write down some good informations, or just I'm writing down this one, send a request. This is the we should we have 8 character and one special also. So let me write down test @123 and just send the request. Password change successfully. Now we'll re-login it with the previous password. So previous password was this one. So let's login it, invalid credentials. So now let's change the password and send a request. Successful, we get a token, right? So that means our password has been changed. So whoever will log in it, the application, he can send the request. He can send a request. In the request we will get the current password or the new password, and on the basis of validations, all the rule regulation of the password strength, we can change the password also, right? And guys, this is the last endpoint for this applications. In the future we will develop the new applications. There we will learn the little advanced, so it's like different architecture of the application, microservices, or either the gRPC or GraphQL we will use it. But this is REST application, this is for beginner, and this is very basics only. So how the Go language and database things can be work. Okay, So you guys can download the source code of it. I will share the link below of this actually video description. You will get the link also, so you can download it and do the practice. If you have any questions, please write down the comment. See you in the next video. Till the time, happy coding.